Hey guys, my name is G.P.S and welcome back to my channel. Today we're picking up where we left off in my last what I got for Christmas video, because at the end I mentioned that I was surprised with a stunning new bag on Christmas Eve, which I really had no idea about. And I didn't want to rush through this unboxing at the end of that video. This is definitely a bag that deserves its own spotlight. And I wanted to be able to go into details about how I got this bag, what other bags were offered to me before getting this, and why I didn't think that I would be able to score a bag before the year ends. So if you want to hear all the details and see the newest bag that's being added to my Hermes collection, then please keep on watching. So this is the box that was waiting for me underneath the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, which was just a huge surprise. I really didn't expect to get a new bag before the year ends, because as some of you may remember, we moved about 6 months ago at this point, which meant that I had to start building a new relationship with a new boutique, which has sort of been a bittersweet experience. On one hand, I did miss my old home store, which I absolutely loved and I was loyal to for years. I loved the team at that store. Every single person there was incredible. They were so good to me and so good at what they were doing. I mean, when people told me that they had a bad experience at Hermes, even though I've had bad experiences myself, at one point, I just couldn't understand what they were even referring to, because my experience was so different for the past couple of years. Not to mention the fact that the merchandise that they carried in that store was just absolutely perfection. It was really my taste, I have to say. On the other hand, it's been fun to explore a new store and get to understand a different way of thinking and a different process that they have in place in different countries around the world when it comes to Hermes. Because when it comes to Hermes stores, what a lot of people don't know about is that each and every single Hermes boutique is going to be slightly different. Not only because of the architecture, which is a big part that I love about Hermes, how much time and effort they put into their individual architecture of each and every single one of their boutiques, but also the merchandise and the stock that they carry is going to be slightly different in every single one of their stores. And that's because the store managers and the store directors who are leading the store and who are responsible for the well-being of the store, they actually have a lot of saying in terms of what gets carried in their stores and how it's going to be merchandised. Because twice a year, Hermes directors and store managers used to go to an event called the Podium, which was held in France twice a year. And store directors and managers had a preview of the upcoming collection, and they got to decide what they're going to be buying for their own stores. Obviously, everyone had to buy from the same collection, and there was an overarching theme that they knew they have to stick to. But at the end of the day, they decided what individual pieces are going to be carried in their stores, which I actually think has a lot to do with why Hermes is so popular today. I think the fact that they allow people who really know their local clientele to buy for them really makes a huge difference. Obviously, there are pieces that will get sent to every single store, and store managers and store directors don't have the chance to even buy or request. But at the end of the day, the big majority of the things that they will carry in their stores, they have a huge say in, which I really appreciate. So because of that reason, it's been a lot of fun to explore a new boutique, see the stock that they carry, see the way they merchandise their stuff, and get to know new people who love Hermes as much as I do and learn from them. Anyhow, I was able to place something that they call a wish here, which is essentially you expressing your interest for a very specific bag. If you want something, I'm going to just give you an example. Let's say I would be interested in a Kelly 25 in Togo, in return structure, in black, maybe with rose gold hardware. I could place a wish for that if I have a very specific request. So when I did that, I requested a Constance 18 in Epsom black, of course, with rose gold or gold hardware, because that's the one bag that I have been looking for pretty much. I think I've been looking for that bag for about a year at this point. And obviously I understand that things slowed down, and that's probably why I have not been able to find it. But that's the bag that I expressed my interest for. And the person I was working with at the time immediately asked me if there is anything else I would be interested in, is if there is any chance that I would perhaps take a Constance 24 or a Constance in a different leather, maybe an exotic, or perhaps just a different regular leather, not necessarily Epsom. And I told them that no, I would only be interested in a Constance 18 in Epsom in black with a very specific hardware, because at this point I would much rather just wait for the bag that I want than take something that I know I'm not going to be 100% satisfied with and then still lust after the bag that I initially wanted. So I told them that no, that's the only bag that I would be interested in. Or another bag that I was kind of thinking about was a Kelly pochette, which is definitely a bag that I have been looking for a long time. And now in hindsight, I feel like that should have been the bag that I placed my special order for when I had the chance a couple of years ago. Anyway, those were the two bags that I expressed interest for, nothing else. I didn't ask for any other Birkins or Kellys because we haven't been going anywhere this year, so I felt it would have been a waste to ask for something that I would have not been able to take advantage of. So a couple of months went by, I didn't receive any updates on the Constance, but I of course still kept shopping with the brand, and I don't think I even asked about the bag because I still love everything that they do. And while I think it's a bonus if I can get a nice bag just because I shop with a store, I would still shop with them even if I couldn't get a bag because I do love everything else that they make. So the bag really wasn't the most important thing for me. And I didn't get any updates on the Constance. And then the person ended up leaving that I initially started working with. And I moved on to working with someone else who I was immediately on the same page with. I felt that they really understood my style, not only my personal style, but also what I was looking for, not only in bags, but in everything else from the brand, which I know was a huge blessing because with Hermes, it can really make or break your experience, whether you can find someone that you click with or you can't. If you find someone that you're immediately on the same page with and you speak the same language, Hermes, I feel like, is going to become your most favorite brand. But if you struggle to find someone that you understand each other with, I can completely understand why you find it to be quite a struggle to shop with a brand like Hermes. But anyway, throughout my journey, I was offered two bags before getting this one. So at one point, I was offered a Mini Kelly in ostrich in a deep blue color, which I like ostrich. I have a Kelly wallet in ostrich, and I think that might be it, which is definitely all that I need. I like a little bit of ostrich on an SLG, but I don't like it enough to get a bag in the leather. I think it looks nice on some people, but it's not my personal preference. And then another bag that I was offered just a few weeks ago as sort of an idea for a Christmas gift was a Kelly Touch, which was an offer that I was incredibly grateful for. But unfortunately, the bag that was offered to me, I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to buy it for myself, mainly because I have a couple of bags already in my collection that are quite similar. So the Kelly Touch that was offered to me was in black Togo in size 32 with black matte alligator handles with palladium hardware. And as I mentioned, there were a couple of reasons why I didn't take it. I've always had an issue with the pricing of Hermes Touch pieces, which tend to be about twice as much as if you bought the same piece in regular leather. With the Kelly Touch, I don't think that was the case, although I have to admit I didn't ask for the price. I should have, but I didn't because I turned it down as soon as I saw it for a couple of reasons. Obviously, number one, as I mentioned, I have a couple of Kellys in my collection that are too similar in the same leather, just with gold hardware. And then the second reason is that I always struggle to come to terms with the fact that Hermes bags that come with just a little bit of exotic skin are always so incredibly expensive. However, I'm sort of coming around, and if this bag was maybe a Birkin, I do think I would have taken it. But with a Kelly Touch, when it comes to this bag, it's only the handles that are made of exotic skin. So in this case, it was matte alligator. Whereas on the Birkin, you at least get two handles in exotic skin. You get the top flap as well as the sangles, which with the Kelly is not the case. The entire body of the bag is made of just regular leather. So I didn't really feel that it was worth the investment and the upcharge, which I assume would have been a couple, maybe a few $1,000s extra. And just to pay to get an exotic handle, I really didn't feel it would have been worth the money for me. Maybe if it wasn't a bag that I've never owned, perhaps it's something that I would have jumped on. But the fact that I have other bags that are similar and the only difference is the hardware in my case and then that the handles are made of regular leather, I really didn't feel that it was worth the money. And then out of the blue, all non-essential stores were asked to close down. So I really gave up on getting a bag this year. I really didn't expect it. And I was perfectly content with everything that I was able to get this year. There were plenty of gifts under the Christmas tree already, so I didn't feel that I absolutely needed a bag, and I didn't feel that I should complain about that. And then, a couple of days before Christmas Eve, we got a call, and I personally wasn't handling it. It was a surprise. But as far as I can tell, we got a call just a couple of days before Christmas Eve with a surprise bag offer. We had to make a bank transfer, and the bag showed up, which was just a huge surprise. Especially when I saw the box, I immediately knew what's going to be in here because I have two other bags that came in the very same box, and my jaw nearly dropped to the floor because I remembered that when I was offered the Kelly Touch, one thing that they asked me if there was anything else that I would have been interested in outside of the Constance and the Kelly Pochette, which I had brought up before. And I said that there really isn't anything else. The only other bag that I could kind of think of that I brought up just really to mention is that I would have been happy to add another Mini Kelly to my collection because they've been some of the most used bags in my collection. So I would have absolutely loved to add another a Mini Kelly to my collection, but only if it was in a certain color, which ended up being this one. And if there's a color that's more difficult to get from Hermes than black and pink, it's probably this. Every single time I start working with a new store, I always like to ask what their most popular color is that people request. And without an exception, every single store says that this is the color that most people ask for. So I was just absolutely amazed that I was surprised with this. I'm just so incredibly thankful for the opportunity to have this bag. But without further ado, let's get into unboxing this. So if you know Hermes and if you own a couple of Hermes bags, you probably already know what's in here. And I most likely mentioned it in the title, so you probably know by now. But let's reveal it together. So of course I had to open it on Christmas Eve when I first saw it under the Christmas tree. I just couldn't wait, especially because this was a surprise. So even though I had a suspicion of what's going to be in here, I couldn't know for sure. So the bag came packaged in this box, and this is kind of exciting for me as well because this is only my second time seeing this bag in person. So of course it was wrapped beautifully in the white tissue paper as always. And as you guys can see, there is a shoulder strap in here, which I will put to the side. And here is the box with the little care card, the leather care card. And this is the newest addition to my Hermes family. Please let me know if you guys can guess the color. I'll just wait, because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I mainly buy black bags. This is not black, so if you can guess the color, do let me know in the comment section. You can just pause me, I'll wait. But the bag that I was surprised with is another Mini Kelly in the color gold in Epsom with gold hardware. Now this bag, when I discovered this under the Christmas tree with the contrast stitching, I was just absolutely amazed because every time I ask someone at Hermes what the most popular color is that people always ask for, they always say gold. Because first of all, it's a quintessentially Hermes color. It just really fits the overall aesthetic and what you think about the brand. It's really elegant, it's sort of a neutral, but it does have a nice pop to it. So I definitely understand why this would be such a popular color. And when I was asked, after I was offered the Kelly Touch, what other bag I would be interested in, I mentioned that I'd be more than happy to take a Mini Kelly in the color gold, but I didn't really think that it's something that I would even be able to get, considering that I already have two Mini Kellys in my collection. But when this offer came through and when I discovered this under the Christmas tree, I mean, I just couldn't believe my eyes. especially because this bag came with gold hardware, which is very, I think when it comes to Mini Kellys, I don't know if I should say it's rare because it's definitely out there. But what I've mainly been seeing on the pre-loved and the resale market is the Mini Kelly in gold with palladium hardware. That's what I've been mainly seeing. So the fact that this is gold on gold makes it even more special for me. I personally prefer gold with gold hardware when it comes to bags in regular leather. But if there's a little bit of exotic, so if this was, let's say, a Birkin Touch in gold, I would actually like it with the palladium hardware. I like that it breaks up the warmth of the color. But if it's just in one leather and one tone, I actually prefer the tone-on-tone pairing. And the fact that this is with the contrast stitching is just so incredibly beautiful. But let's go ahead and open this bag together. And in case you want a more in-depth review about the Mini Kelly, I have several videos on my other Mini Kellys, which I will have linked up here. But if you guys would want me to do an updated one, maybe an updated what fits into my Mini Kelly, definitely let me know. So this has still all the plastic on it. And I do get a lot of questions about whether I keep the plastic on my bags, whether I like to take them off. And I've been told different things by different people at Hermes. So I worked with people who told me that I should immediately take off the plastic because it can leave a mark behind. And then by other people I was told, who also work for Hermes, that I shouldn't. As long as the plastic wants to stay, I should just leave it as it is. Once it starts peeling off, I should definitely not put it back and I should just rip it off like a band-aid. But as long as it's intact, I should just leave it as it is. It shouldn't be an issue. And I would like to trust them because they have been with the brand for a very long time. So I don't think that they would not know what they're talking about. So I personally always leave the plastic on as long as it doesn't start coming off on its own. Once you start seeing the corners peeling up, then I take them off. And then on the inside, the lining is also in gold. And as with all Mini Kellys, you do get a little back pocket that you can use for cards. I usually just slide a credit card or my ID in there. And then, of course, you have the Hermes Paris logo above the hardware here. But this is the newest addition to my collection, which I'm so incredibly grateful for. I mean, I really couldn't have asked for a more special bag. And then, of course, as all Mini Kellys, it came with the shoulder strap, which is 85 centimeters long. I am definitely going to order a longer strap, so 105 with Hermes when I get the chance, because 85, I think it's fine if I want to just use it across one shoulder. But if I want to put it crossbody, 85 is just a little bit too short for me. So I do have a video explaining how you can make a strap longer when it comes to Hermes bags, which I'll link up here. And I am going to use those tricks in that video on this bag as well. I am working on a video on different shoulder straps that you can add to your Hermes bags. So hang tight, that's coming soon. And then I will also have to order an insert for this. At this point, I don't use bags without inserts in them. So if I could, I would definitely get a 7RP insert for this. But 7RP currently is not making inserts for the Mini Kelly, which I don't know what they're waiting for. I wish they did because I'm waiting for it. Right now, they don't make them. So I will link the insert down below that I'm going to order for this, which is the insert that I have for my black Mini Kellys. Yeah, as soon as the insert arrives, I will start using it. And in the meantime, let's say if I want to take it out, what I would do is I would use the little pouch bag or the little dust bag that comes with the shoulder strap on the inside. So I don't scratch the lining of the bag. That's what I would do. But I do feel more comfortable having an insert in my bags. That's something that I need to order in the color gold just so it matches this bag, and I will link it down below. But do let me know what you guys think about this bag. I know it's a bag that was unexpected. It was definitely unexpected for me. But I can only repeat myself that I'm really grateful to have this new bag in my collection in a different color and with my preferred hardware, which is always gold. And the fact that this is gold on gold just makes this bag even more special. It's in my favorite leather in Epsom. It's in my favorite size and shape. So I'm just over the moon with the newest addition to my little Hermes family. I couldn't have asked for a more beautiful way to end 2020. And if there are any other videos that you guys would like me to do on the Mini Kelly, if you have any other questions, definitely let me know in the comment section. But overall, as you guys can tell, I'm a huge advocate of these bags. I think even though a lot of people fear these and find them to be too small, I think they can work on every single person depending on how you style them. I think they are just small enough to stay functional, but because they are quite small and miniaturized, they do have that sort of fashion forward look to them. As long as you can make the shoulder strap work, I think you're good to go. Or if you find it too short and you don't want to play around with it, just take it off, use the bag on its own by holding onto the handle, and you will be perfectly fine. But this is really it. This completes today's video, and this is going to be the last video that I do in 2020. I think this video will be going live on Tuesday, which means that I should technically have another video going live on Thursday. But this Thursday happens to be the 31st, and I assume most people will be busy prepping for the new year. So I thought it's better to just end the year on a high note, and I don't think you can get a note higher than this. But before I let you guys go, I just want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you. I don't want you to think that your support ever goes unnoticed. I am just so thankful to every single one of you for commenting, for subscribing, for liking, and even just for watching. I am so grateful for your support and the fact that you guys made a strange and weird year actually quite enjoyable for me. I owe you guys a lot for that, and I hope I was able to bring a little bit of fun to this just strange year at the end of the day. But I hope you guys have a beautiful new year and all your dreams come true in 2021. And I look forward to welcoming you back here on the first Sunday of January. And Happy New Year. Bye.